So, Chris, you failed to tell me that having an accent was actually one of the requirements for the showcase. So, hate to disappoint, I do not have an accent. I assume everybody else does here on this particular panel, but how crazy is this? The former president of CJ standing on the stage of Rakuten Symposium. Never would I ever, and I don't know, I think it's even more crazy that actually Adam Weiss allowed me to do so. But I promise to behave, and I will absolutely do that. Even though we've been direct competitors when I was at CJ for many, many years, Adam and I have always had a very professional and very respectful relationship. So I really appreciate his support previously and with Honey as well as with Chris and John and the rest of the wild stallions, as you call yourselves. So, all right, so before I begin, how many of you are familiar with how Honey works? As a user, as a merchant partner? All right, I'd like to see a few more hands, but it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of explaining here, which is absolutely fine. So I really like to start with, what problem are we trying to solve? And it's actually a problem that many of us in the room have actually created as consumers as well as retailers. Our demand for a deal, the retailer actually trying to meet that demand for a deal, and it's become a very, very complicated process. And we've all done it. We're shopping online, we get to a site, we put products and items into the cart, and we see it. The infamous promo code. Should I buy now? Am I getting the best deal? I have to find out. And we jump off, and oftentimes we never come back as a consumer. As a retailer, many of our consumers never come back. They find a better deal at a competitor, they find more cash back, cart abandoned, customer lost. And because Honey is a browser extension, we actually have insight and access to consumer behavior and cross-site shopping data. So we see actually on average, when a consumer is looking to make a purchase, they're looking at 7 other stores in the process, 7 other stores. And of those shoppers, 51% of them are also looking at Amazon. So not only is it a hyper-competitive market, Amazon is now, fortunately or unfortunately, a very prevalent presence on every consumer's browser. So how do you, as a retailer, compete? How do you keep customers on your site and stop them in their tracks? And this, of course, is where Honey comes in and saves the day. I have a quick animated video, and you're going to see very quickly that we're a little bit different. We're not about flashing buttons, popping icons all over the place. We really try to be very simple, very non-intrusive to the consumer. We're there when they want us to be there. So once I download the extension, and I can do that via joinhoney.com, or you can go to your favorite browser in their store. We have over almost 60,000 5-star reviews on Chrome. Once it's downloaded, you'll see actually the Honey icon in the top right. Unless the consumer engages, it will sit there quietly. If the consumer does choose to engage, the available promotions will actually showcase themselves. But it's actually not until when, again, that high-risk point of that promo code box or that coupon field appears that Honey appears to help the consumer. So you'll see here, I already have items in my cart as a consumer. I have not yet engaged with Honey. So as I start the animation here, so I'm actually proceeding now to the checkout page to actually make a purchase with Macy's, one of our partners, and that's when the Honey slider appears. No cookies actually dropped unless the consumer engages with the slider. So as you can see, we're now actually finding in real time automatically the best coupon based on their desired purchase. So we found savings, and again, we're looking to convert the customer right there. We don't want them to go elsewhere. We don't want them to jump off and go to Amazon or anywhere else. So if we don't have a coupon, we also have a cash bonus program called Honey Gold, in which we take a percentage of our commissions earned and actually pass it back to the consumer. So we have 2 conversion levers. We have coupons and we have cash bonus. And so we'll use which one makes the most sense for that particular consumer and getting them to convert right then and there. Most importantly, how many users do we have? So the company's been around since 2012, but we really invested in acquisition probably about a year or so ago. We now have almost 4 million monthly active users. We're adding upwards to about 1 million a month. So we hope to be about 10 to 15 million by the end of this year. So we're growing exponentially. Most of our user acquisition happens via Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. So you see a lot of us on Facebook, but because we do so much Facebook acquisition, we find that 67% of our user base are actually millennials. So these folks over-index on income as well as education, and I know a lot of you may have initiatives in which you're trying to reach this very unique demographic. We also have about 7,500 merchant partners. So again, we've been really focused on the consumer experience, the technology, and so just about a year ago, we started facilitating these partnerships via Rakuten and others. So Chris and that team, if you don't already know them, are really responsible for a lot of these relationships, many of these Rakuten partners, as you see on the page. So you're in good company in working with Honey and all of our other merchant partners. We're going to generate about 15 billion in transactions on behalf of these merchant partners in 2017. In terms of Honey Gold, when I talk about cash bonus, we're going to generate about $1 billion in incentivized transactions in 2017. And then this is where it really gets fun, and I have less than 2 minutes, so I'm going to race through this. As I mentioned before, because we are an extension, we have insight and access to consumer data. Not only do we have insight and access, we're actually sharing that consumer data with you, our merchant partners. Several weeks ago, we deployed what we're calling Honey Insights. It gives our merchant partners direct access to Honey consumer data on behalf of their retail or travel partner's site. So they can see how many shoppers, they can see conversion rate, they can see what other competitive sites those shoppers are also looking at. They can see gross merchandise value in terms of generated by those particular shoppers. And this is just the beginning. We're going to continue to expand on this data set. We're going to continue to share it with all of you as merchant partners. And we're eventually going to be rolling out personalization and leveraging this data in the coming months at both the store, the product, as well as the offer level. And eventually we'll be leveraging this data to enable all of you targeting capabilities as well. So this is why I joined the company back in September, and it's super exciting in terms of it's just the beginning with the extension. We're going to be leveraging a lot of this data actually on joinhoney.com, which is our website, which is where you're seeing a lot of the personalization push happen. So if you're not working with us, come talk to us. We too have a deal maker table this afternoon from 3 to 6. I promise you, Elise is much friendlier than she looks in this picture. We have Amy Land and, of course, Chris, who I referenced earlier. A bunch of us are here, including our co-founder, Ryan Hudson, in the back. Zero merchant integration, and it's literally just pushing us an offer. You see our publisher ID right there, 3005498. We'll be around tonight, and look forward to seeing you at the 90s party this evening. So thank you very much.